Hi, thanks for being here and welcome to the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ. I'm Naima. So chances are you're watching this because a friend, a coworker, a classmate, a neighbor, or a loved one wanted you to check out this video about the church, right? Whatever it was, I'm thankful to have you here for a few minutes. You see, a few years back, my brother Ahmad invited me to a Bible study. And now I do the same, inviting everyone I can to share in the beautiful and powerful words of God.
From all the peoples on earth, he chose you to be his own special people.
Studies show the number one reason people go to church is to reconnect with God. And if that's what you're here for, you've come to the right place. Our worship services are solemn. No loud music or loud distractions, but rather savoring the moment of being in the house of God and one-on-one time with Him. All of our worship services consist on preaching based on purely God's words, no opinion, no personal stories. I remember attending my first worship service and feeling the music was so spiritual, and listening to the words of God preached from the Bible. It was question and answer, and it made me realize that God's words was straightforward, and I needed to hear everything that message had to offer that day.
But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood.
36,000 items in this just one little room. So we want to make sure our counts are as accurate as possible.
And if you're looking for a church that you can volunteer with communities all over the world, you've come to the right place. And we believe in spending time with people and sharing with them Christian love and compassion through the INC Giving Project, where we sing to elders, say thank you to teachers, firefighters, and police officers all over the world.
Whenever somebody in the community that we're sent out to protect comes in and says thank you, we love it, and it keeps us going a little bit harder. You know, it keeps that motivation up as well.
I think it was amazing, probably one of the best Sundays I've ever had.
It's even inspired me to go out there on my own for my birthday and see how else I can make a difference. Slippers, socks, and a card. So yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to deliver it. So some of you are probably thinking, how can this church help my family, my children? Well, I'm so glad you asked. While many churches are seeing young people leave their faith, this one is filled with vibrant youth involved in so many different types of projects, from the arts to music to volunteer projects to TV shows. I myself have been involved in numerous projects, performing in places like the Verizon Center, and more recently in front of the Lincoln Memorial. I'm so excited for you to learn what this church has to offer. In just over 100 years, this church, which began preaching in the Philippines in 1914, is the first Christian church that has come from a developing country and progressed to the West. It's only been 50 years since coming to the United States, and now the Church of Christ is making impacts all over the world. And while nearly 10,000 churches close their doors every year in the United States, this church builds over 360 chapels a year, including one in my hometown of Philadelphia. Where did all of this success come from? It can only be from the hand of God. Now that you have an idea of what the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ is about, it's time for you to experience the main thing that makes the church unique: the presentations of the words of God.
But by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God.
With congregations across North America, there's probably one near your home. But I know the thought of walking into a place without knowing anyone inside might seem a bit intimidating. So if you want, message us or the one who shared this video with you before you go, and we'll walk you through it. Feel free to bring a notebook with you to take notes. Here in the Church of Christ, everything we do is solely based on God's teachings, nothing more, nothing less. So perhaps you haven't been to a church in a long time because you've been disappointed time and time again by false preachers and false doctrine. Well, perhaps now's the time God has set for you to meet the Iglesia Ni Cristo, Church of Christ, because this is the church you've been looking for and waiting for. Now's the time. Are you ready?